Welcome to Protagonist Pub. My name is Tammy, and this is where characters gather. So this morning, we're going to talk about my weekly reading roundup, which, sneak peek, it wasn't bad, actually. Actually, it was, for the most part, very good. So I am pleased with that. So, like always, let's start with the wonderful DNFs in my reading week. One is, I'm going to call it a soft DNF. It was on my Kindle. It was The Words We Lost by Nicole Deese. I was not enjoying the story by chapter 4. The overall premise seemed a little contrived to me, and the premise of, sure, I'll sell out my best friend's memory to keep my job, didn't sit well with me. So I set it aside. I may or may not come back to it. Time will tell. And the other book, I don't know to count this as a DNF or not, is Reunion Beach. It's the short story compilation in honor of Dorothea Benton Frank. I read the first story in its totality. That was Bridesmaids by Patty Callahan. I started the second story, which is The Summer of 79 by Ellen Hildebrand. I tried the third story, Postcards from Heaven by Adriana Trigiani. Yeah, skip that one. And by then, I was pretty much over. I flipped through the other ones, and nothing was working for me. So, why? So, the first story is by Patty Callahan, and it wasn't bad, but it plays off one of those female tropes that I just have zero patience with, and that is I let my past traumas dictate my future because I have no spine, and I get together with a bunch of friends, and suddenly I find my spine in myself. Seriously, I do not have patience for this. I cannot in any way relate, especially when once they get together, they're all talking about how modern romance movies have let them down. And while I completely agree that modern romance tropes and portrayals are utterly unrealistic as to what it truly means to, be in love and be married and partner with someone, I guess I'm weird because I never once thought that the way relationships were portrayed in Hollywood was an accurate depiction of real life. Clue, it's not. It's designed to sell, tickets in a movie theater, and then today streaming and purchasing your own copy of it. It isn't a reflection of real life. It just isn't. And so I don't know to count that as a DNF or a finish. It would complete a reading challenge prompt for me if I counted it as a finish, but I don't know that one story out of the 4 authors they list in as authors of stories in here. I don't know if reading 25% of those stories counts as a finish. I'll probably try and see if I can get another short story compilation and try that one. Okay, so what did I read after that? I'm going to save the best for last. I finished Across the Blue by Carrie Turansky this week. This was a recommendation from Jeanette over at Jane Reads. And as you know, in my book haul video, I bought this book because Jeanette gushed about it. And Jeanette does not gush over books. This book was so enjoyable. If you have any interest in aviation, if you have any interest in early 20th century journalism, women reporters in early 20th century, pick it up. It is a delightful story. It has, there is faith in the book. There is romance. There is learning. Not learning. There is sticking up for yourself when everyone around you is saying, just do what we want and life will be better for you. And I haven't written the review for it yet. I will do that this week. I thoroughly enjoyed Across the Blue. It is hopeful and inspirational, and it is a much more realistic depiction of romance with life challenges aplenty, and you still choose to love someone despite the challenges and the pressure not to do so. And I truly appreciated that story this week. I appreciated the faith content. And I will look for other books from her because this one was just, there was something magical about it. So, what was my best read of the week? I got my advanced reader's copy of Adrift this week by Rhonda Ortiz. I read it electronically. I am ordering my physical copy this week as well. I'm going to do an entire video for Adrift and release it on publication day, which is August 8th. It is the second book in the Molly Chase series. It is Catholic historical fiction. It is Christian historical fiction. And honestly, I loved this book. I loved it more than the first one, and I didn't think that was truly going to happen. As you know, In Pieces is the first Molly Chase book. I will link its video down below. In Pieces and Recorder are both tied for my book of the year when I picked up Adrift. And now I don't know how those 3 books play out for book of the year. This is this book is an example of the types of love as defined by the Greeks. All of them are present in this book. If you've read my written review, which is on my blog, which, as like always, is in the description down below, I categorize, who in the book exemplifies this version of love. What is romantic love and what is, universal love. And this book has it all. It also has an ongoing mystery. It has, race relations are covered, and it makes you ask how race relations in 1793 Boston have changed from 2023 America. I will let you draw your own conclusions after reading the book. I know what mine are. So I finished the book Thursday, and so I was picking the book up Thursday morning to finish it. Rhonda was on Instagram doing a live stream, and I watched it. And I guess another reader asked if Molly was stupid, and was she stupid in comparison to Josiah? I was floored. I never dawned on me that Molly was anything less than Josiah's intellectual equal. And Rhonda explained her reasoning, and I'm going to explain mine. So in Pieces, we see and meet a very broken Molly after she discovers her father's suicide and the trauma that brings on. In essence, in modern day terms, Molly has PTSD, and she has what she calls lapses, where she loses touch with what's going on around her and lives in that memory she cannot escape. And this happens if she's awake, it happens if she's asleep, it happens in company, she can't control it. But through this, horrifying PTSD that she keeps to herself, yes, the Robb family knows about it, and they take her in and they try to help her. But she keeps it to herself. She does not talk about the trauma of her father's suicide to anyone in Pieces. And yet, through In Pieces, she has the mental fortitude and wherewithal to know she needs to find a way to support herself. In 1793, she's a woman alone. There are no surviving members of her family. She's the scandalous talk of the town because she is a single woman living, everyone assumes, in sin with Josiah, even though he has left his own home so that she can live there. And she does. She finds a way. She uses her sewing skills, and she uses her ability to create patterns for others. And somehow this comes across as less intelligent than Josiah. So for me, I found this incredibly odd because the mathematical skills required to put together gowns in 1793 without a pattern was amazing. And she did it in her head for the most part. And yet somehow this comes across as she's less intelligent than Josiah. She learns to cook. She learns to, keep house, not skills she was ever taught by her mother. I never once doubted Molly's intelligence. We all have different types and strengths of intelligence, and Molly's was at the creative end, and Josiah's was in linguistics. So I found that very interesting. But back to Adrift. So in Adrift, Molly is starting to recover from the PTSD, and her skills are just shining through. And if you need a written example of, and I've said this before and I will continue to say it, a protector male, it's Josiah. He puts his love for Molly first. He puts his relationship with Molly first. Her safety, her mental health, her physical health are all at the top of his priority list, even when it jeopardizes what he would consider his future. There is not a better male character I have read this year. And I don't think there's a better male character I have read in the last several years than Josiah Robb. And his compatriots in the books are all very good men too, for the most part. But he's just at the top of my list. He just really is. So, what am I going to read? I checked my July pile of possibilities, and there are still 2 books on there that I haven't read this month. So, I'm going to make a valiant effort to get to them. If I don't, I don't. That's okay. The first one is Summer Sisters by Judy Blume. Still love that cover. And this is not a long book. I don't know why I am, it's under 400 pages. And it's, not tiny print. So it's not big print, large print, but it's not minuscule print either. And then The Darkest Evening by Cleeves. Again, don't know why I'm dragging my feet. This one is, about the same length as Summer Sisters. They're not anything I can't read in a week. So Tammy just needs to sit down and read those books. So what my brain really wants to read is MarkMaker by Mary Jessica Woods, Catholic science fiction. Maybe I will reward myself with this one after I read one of the other 2. And for Jane Austen July, I'm still trying to get to this one, which is Jane and the Unpleasantness at Scargrave Manor. So that is my proposed reading for this week. I am still going to release my book club video review on Saturday, even though book club canceled on me last week. It's fine. I was incredibly upset, and I'm not now. It's their loss, not mine. And the book I chose for book club was The Broken Hearts Bakery by Carla Lauraeno. My written review for that is up. Still don't know how I feel about that book, so we shall see. Then on Wednesday, my wrap-up video for my anticipated 5-star reads for the second quarter releases. And on Friday, my anticipated loves for the third quarter releases. So the week is nicely planned out. I just need to get this video edited and up. And I need to get some blog work done. But other than that, it was a decent reading week. I am not upset. I was a flutter earlier in the week. It took me a while to get into reading this last week. But that's okay, because I got caught up on Grantchester. I don't regret it. Perfectly happy. So, how was your reading week? Leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and I will see you here next time at the Protagonist Pub. A couple of you were asking for dog videos, and there they are, making sure that no one can sneak up on the house. Yeah, see, no one is sneaking up on my house ever.